Welcome to tutorial 4, Stickman walking. There are two ways to draw the Stickman. That is to draw the Stickman 6 times, which for most people wears them out unless they like drawing Stickmen. We're going to try today by drawing it once correctly and then using the bone tool to animate our Stickman. So as usual, action script 3 is what you select. Maximize the stage area or work area for your screen and put in a grid. In this case, the grid is very handy because it will give you an idea of the size of the object you're drawing on the screen. Now we're actually going to draw the Stickman quite large, and later we'll use the transform tool over here, the free transform tool, to reduce the size of the Stickman. It's just easier to draw it big and then later on to redraw it. Now we're going to use, for drawing the Stickman, we're going to use the pencil tool, and if the color is not black, open up the color bar by clicking on the color and select black. The thickness is probably set at 1, change it to 4. Okay. Now notice down here smoothing is 50, so it's if you draw something, it'll try to make it as smooth as it can. Now in our first shape, first Stickman, we're going to show him with the two arms separate and on the body on a bit of an angle. So there's the Stickman's basic body, and we're going to draw on the top an oval. Don't worry, it'll smooth it out. There's the head. It's not an oval, but anyway, we could use we could make it into an oval if we wished, but I can live with that. The back arm. Now notice there's a bend in that. That'll give us a problem later on, so get rid of that with Control Z. Just go backwards. Redraw that the first part of the line. You do need a straight line for this. Okay, better. And then at the elbow, going down just a short piece. And we'll draw a hand on it after that as well. Okay, so there's the one arm. The other arm is going forward and up from the elbow. Nope. Once again, it's got a bend in it. Note there. That's going to give you problems later on. Control Z. Better. Okay, let's put a hand on there. The hand can simply be a circle again. Just draw a small circle. It is, after all, a Stickman. It doesn't really need fingers. And don't worry if they're not quite the same size. We can live with that. We could have copied one and then pasted it, but that'll do. Okay, the legs. Now, the front leg is straight line out. Nope. Straight line. Actually should have put it down a bit more on an angle. Now that's going to give me a problem right there. So I'm going to get rid of that. It must start from the other line, so get on the other line. And then from the knee downwards. Right. Second leg. No good. Better, better. Now for feet, make sure you come back to where you start, and it makes an oval for the shoe. And this one's sort of a square. Doesn't matter, we can live with that. Now to differentiate between the two hands and the 2 feet, because they will look the same, we're going to color them in using the paint bucket, but we'll do them different colors. So turn on your paint bucket and select, okay, mine happens to be blue at the moment, so I'll make, oops, I didn't select the paint bucket. Paint bucket, it's white at the moment. I'm going to select blue for one of the hands. I guess that's blue there. And one of the feet. If it doesn't fill in, it means that the line for the foot was not complete. You have to select it using the select tool and hit delete and then redraw another foot if it doesn't fill in. Or ask your teacher for help. Alright, change the color for the other two, the other side. There we go. And you can pick any color you want for the face. I'm going to pick a nice green. Don't pick purple, and the reason is purple is going to be used by the bone tool. If you can remember in the last activity we did, that was the color of the bone tool mechanism. Now go to frame 80, right click and insert a keyframe. So what has it done? It's copied that image to every frame. Now go to frame 1. It's selected the whole object. Note, turn on the bone tool and start at the shoulder with the bone tool and go up to the roughly 1/3 the way up into the head. Notice it's purple, and that's the point of rotation there at the shoulders. Continue over to the elbow, and from the elbow down into the center of the hand. Go to the other side. Go to the logical joints. That's where you should end up, wherever a normal joint is in your body. Alright, now we're going to go all the way down to the legs. So there's the hips, I guess you'd say. And from there we're going to go to the knee on both sides. From the knee down to the ankle. Now at the ankle, draw just a short one because we will want the direction of the foot to change. So there we go. From the hip now we go down to the other knee. To the ankle, but actually inside the shoe. And last but not least to the end of the shoe. Now remember this, if your bone change color, the bone tool, that means it's produced a new layer. So hopefully yours has stayed purple. If it did change color, you're going to have to go back and retry that. Just use Control Z to go back as many steps as you have to. Worst comes to worst, ask your teacher for help. So what do we have? In frame 1 we have the bone tool applied to all of the Stickman. Alright, go to frame 20. Right click, insert pose. It's done it. Okay, and notice the blue box around the entire object. Frame 40, in the armature layer. Once again, insert pose. 60, same thing. And you have to wait for it to do it. It takes a little while. And finally 80, insert pose. So we've got number 1 already had the original shape. We've got a pose then at 20, 40, 60 and 80. Alright, go to the first cell, first frame. Turn on your transform tool and find where the move symbol appears. There it is there. You see it in the center? Let's start with the Stickman over here. He's partly off the background. Go to frame 20 and go over a bit further. Now let's just go back. Let's see where, using your, turn on the onion skin. Let's go back. And you can see, in fact, there's the motion so far. Huh? Go to frame 40 in the armature layer. And he's back where he was at the beginning, frame 60. I think I'll go back to frame 40 and move it back a bit. Otherwise we will run out of space here. It's still doing something. Going back to frame 40. I'm going to turn off the onion skin because I can't actually see which of those is the object. There we are. There's the object. Move it back to about there. And lastly, frame 80. I'm going to have it just going off the screen at frame 80. like that. So in frame 1 it's over here, frame 20 it's, well, let's just see, let's turn on the onion skin. I'll stretch the onion skin by grabbing the little handle over the whole 80 frames. And there you go. It's showing the motion. Now we haven't moved the limbs at all, so it's just uniform motion. If you go in Window, Control, Test Movie, it doesn't really make sense. All it's doing is sliding along the screen, but not showing any sort of natural motion. All right. Now, let's go to frame 20. Turn off the onion skin. Just go down there and click on onion skin. That'll turn it off so that we can just see this. We want to change the arrangement of the limbs to what is shown in the diagram that you've been given. You've been given a diagram with the 6 different shapes, and in this one, so we want to click on them. Turn on the bone tool, I guess. There we go. I clicked on the bone tool, and now we can see where everything is. And now we're going to turn on the move tool. Right, now I want to move this foot back a bit. I'm going to move this foot. I'm going to move the knee down and the foot down. And let's change the position of the arms. This arm was there originally. I'm going to have it go back up a bit. And this arm is going to start moving both down and forward a bit. Okay, there. Now, let's rotate the head back a bit. Okay, go to frame 40. Frame 40, remember, is the same as, and frame 60 and 80 are the same as they were in the first frame. So look at your diagram 3. In diagram 3, they have the red hand going ahead of the body. So keeping the blue hand where it is, it's typical of a runner. We're going to move this hand up here. Okay, and we're going to shift the legs. This knee is going to be coming up a lot. And the head, I guess we can leave the head where it is. It's going sort of back and forth. Go to frame 60. It's still doing that. Okay, frame 60. And now we want, in fact, this knee to be in front of the other knee. I'm going to grab that knee there and move it back a bit. And I guess I want it up a bit too. And we've got to bring this foot down. So there's something. And the toe down so it's touching the ground. The arms, remember the arm, I'm going to grab the hand and move it up here. And we're going to move the blue hand back. Let me grab the blue hand. It's not cooperating. There we go. Blue hand is now coming back there. Okay. And frame 80 as the runner is going off the screen. Frame 80, I have to see where we were in the last one. I'm going to turn on the onion skin again. Woo! I don't want quite that much. It's too confusing. Let's go up to just where it was a couple of frames before. Okay, and we want to change the position of the red hand. I'm going to turn off the onion skin again. Now I've got an idea. I'm going to put this hand up, move this hand down like that, lift this knee, grab the foot. This is the final spurt. Get this knee down, foot down. I guess I have to raise the hips a bit though to do that. And make that foot flat. Okay, let's just see what we've got. Let's go control test movie now. Not bad, except they're in the center. It's not moving enough. As you can see, the arms are not moving enough in the first frame. Well, so what you could do is put another, just to give that sort of a more natural motion, you could go to frame 10 and put in another insert pose and change the shape and move the object again if you wanted. However, for a first try, it's not too bad at all. Not as smooth as it could have been. Now, I suggest at this point, let's turn off the Stickman layer. What is in that first frame? Anything? Nothing. Completely empty. So why not put a background in there? You could find a picture of a road. You could draw something. Whatever you want, in fact. If you want to put a picture in, it should be preferably a JPEG with a road, a background, something interesting, and something to the scale that you want. And what you do is you save it first of all, and then you go File, Import from Library, or Import to Stage. Then you follow through, and it'll tell you how to find it. So I'm just going to paint in a background. I'm going to turn my Stickman back on so I can see roughly where he is. I'm going to give myself, I'm going to go, I'm not much of an artist, so don't expect too much. I'm going to turn on a, whoops, the reason it's not working at the moment is I haven't picked the correct frame. There we go. Now it'll allow it. Turn on my brush again, and I'm down in this cell here. My brush is not doing anything. Brush tool. So my brush is refusing to work. Alright, I'll use a very, very wide pencil. 20. And I don't want black. I'm going to have a nice brown road there. There we go. Hopefully the Stickman, well, let's turn on the onion skin. Anyway, I'll just leave it like that. It's running on the sand on a beach. Now I'm going to put in another layer, so just go down here to the insert layer, new layer, new layer, new layer. That's the ground. I got to put some sky in there. So go to the first cell in that layer 5. That's going to be my sky. I'm just going to sky. And so I'll change the color of my pencil tool. I'm not sure why I cannot use the paintbrush. Now I can use the paintbrush. Alright. Got to turn on a cell again though. It's turned off the cell. And when I turn on the cell, it turns off the paintbrush. Back to the pencil. I want blue. Don't worry, I know it looks like I'm painting over my... Oh, I think I am. I don't think I am. I could have done this using the select tool. Why is this doing this? Where is my sky? Good. So it's just because I've got it on top of that layer that it's showing up like that. Don't worry, your Stickman's not being damaged as long as that layer is the layer that's on. This is too tedious, so here's another method. Take the rectangle tool, make a, well, that's exactly what I wanted, but I didn't want it there. Control Z. Once again, take the rectangle tool and draw it over the whole area where I want the sky. And there we go. There's my new sky. I didn't want that color, but I just change that. It's my paint bucket. And it refuses to cooperate. Okay, I'm going to go to my layer 4. Clouds. And I'll just use my pencil tool again, but very narrow. I'll make it 5. Change the color to white. Oops, don't worry. The moment is hidden by the sky. And those are my clouds, etc. Okay, let's just see what this looks like. Let's drag the armature down. There's my pseudo clouds. Stickman should be on top. There it is. Let's go control test movie for this limited movie. Control test movie. So you can see at the beginning, look, the motion of the feet are not quite right, but you can fix that up in yours. Finally, save this as your Stickman walking flash movie. Thank you very much.